Australia is a land of vast landscapes, diverse cultures, and thriving cities. But beneath this facade of prosperity lies a pressing issue that affects countless Australians: the housing affordability crisis. In this comprehensive, we will delve into the complexities of this crisis, exploring its causes, consequences, and possible solutions. Imagine an average family trying to purchase a home. They are faced with staggering prices, often 10 to 15 times their household income, and an unrelenting surge in property costs. But why are these prices soaring? And what does the future hold for those in the property market? Should you buy now or wait for conditions to improve? These questions and more will be answered in this exploration of the Australian housing crisis. To truly understand the housing crisis, we'll begin with a simple yet powerful economic model known as the four-quadrant model. Developed by Denise D. Pascal and William Wheaton in 1992, this model helps us grasp the intricate mechanisms of the real estate market. Housing affordability in Australian cities has become one of the worst in the world. In cities like Melbourne and Sydney, an average home now costs a staggering $1 million or more, with property prices reaching up to 13.3 times the household income in late 2022. The model divides the real estate market into four submarkets: rental, property selling, construction, and inventory. These four submarkets interact and influence each other to determine housing costs. The rental market is largely influenced by the supply of available rental properties. When there is an abundance of available housing, rental prices tend to be lower. Conversely, when supply is limited, renters are forced to compete, causing rents to rise. Property prices are primarily driven by rental income. The higher the rent a property can earn, the more valuable it becomes, resulting in higher property prices. The construction industry responds to property prices. When prices are high, more properties are developed to capitalize on the opportunity, and when they drop, construction rates decrease. The amount of housing inventory available depends on construction activity. More construction leads to increased inventory, while decreased construction limits the available houses. One of the critical factors affecting the Australian housing market is interest rates. Over the past few years, Australia experienced significant fluctuations in interest rates, directly impacting the market. But here's where the complexity comes into play. The official cash rate, set by the Reserve Bank of Australia, dropped to historic lows during the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in lower mortgage interest rates. Mortgage rates of 4 to 5% before the pandemic dropped to 2 to 3%, leading to a surge in property prices. As interest rates rise sharply, property prices should decrease, as higher mortgage costs reduce affordability. This is exactly what happened in some areas like Sydney in 2022, when property prices temporarily dropped. Beyond interest rates, another crucial factor influencing the housing crisis is population growth. Australia has experienced tremendous population growth, especially in its major cities, due to overseas migration. Major cities like Melbourne have seen a doubling of their population since the 1970s, driven primarily by overseas migration. The desirability of Australian cities globally has led to this growth, and projections show this trend continuing. This surge in population directly impacts the housing market, driving up demand. Higher demand, without corresponding increases in supply, leads to rising property prices and rents. So, what's in store for the Australian housing market? The near future presents uncertainties due to something known as the mortgage cliff. Many Australians locked in low interest rates in 2020 and 2021, enjoying rates as low as 2 to 3%. However, as fixed-term rates expire, these homeowners are transitioning to higher variable rates, causing concerns about their ability to afford their mortgages. Some Australians have already experienced the mortgage cliff, with nearly 10% of properties purchased during the low-rate period being sold at a loss. This trend raises questions about potential default rates and further sales of properties at losses. In the short term, the housing market faces uncertainties due to the mortgage cliff. Yet, long-term trends, such as population growth and construction limitations, will significantly influence the market. Short-term sales and potential losses will be a key metric to monitor in the coming months. A large number of properties bought during the low-rate period transitioning to high variable rates might lead to a wave of sales, some at losses. In the long term, the persistence of population growth and limitations on construction in cities will continue to drive housing affordability concerns. The challenge is to balance urban development and housing demand. With all these factors in mind, the pressing question is whether to buy a property now or wait. The answer depends on your goals. If you intend to buy a property for residence, consider whether you can afford the current market conditions. If it's strictly an investment, analyze rental yields, which may require rent to rise significantly to justify the purchase price. The potential for price corrections in the short term means that waiting might offer more favorable conditions for home buyers. If you're considering a long-term investment, property values tend to appreciate over time. Population growth and limited construction should support this trend. Addressing the housing crisis in Australia requires a multifaceted approach involving government intervention, community initiatives, and market dynamics. Governments can implement policies like increasing housing supply through zoning reforms, enhancing rental security, and promoting affordable housing projects to alleviate the crisis. Local communities can work together to create more affordable housing options through co-housing, co-ops, or community land trusts. Innovations in the real estate market, such as fractional property ownership, may offer more accessible pathways for people to enter the housing market. The Australian housing crisis is undoubtedly a complex issue, influenced by various factors such as interest rates, population growth, and construction limitations. Navigating this market is challenging, with uncertainties about short-term sales and the impending mortgage cliff. However, understanding the intricacies of the real estate market, making informed decisions, and exploring potential government and community solutions can help address this crisis. Whether you're looking to buy a home or invest, staying informed and proactive is key in these ever-changing times. Australia's housing crisis is a challenge, but one that can be met with innovative strategies, careful planning, and a commitment to ensuring housing affordability for all Australians. The future of the Australian housing market is uncertain, but with knowledge and determination, we can find our way home. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up by clicking that like button below. Sharing is caring, so if you think your friends or family would enjoy this content, please consider sharing it with them. And if you want to stay up to date with all our latest videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our future content. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.